In prison, I became really mindful of and protective of my personal space. Like when I walk through a room, I'm looking for a path where I can make sure I don't even come too close to anybody. If I do come too close to them, even if I don't touch them, I'm gonna like get out of the way and say, hey, excuse me. And if somebody comes into my personal space, I'm gonna turn around and say, hey, you need to say excuse me. And this came up last night while I was walking the strip with friends because every time I kind of bumped into them or came into their space, I would say, hey, excuse me, oh no. And I'm not as protective of my own space anymore, but in my mind, I still have to be really careful about not transgressing on somebody else. So they said, hey, is this like a jail or prison thing? Like, why do you keep apologizing? Like, what is the problem? It's okay that you bumped into us, like it's a busy avenue. They also point out another thing that I started doing in prison that I still do today is that anytime I walk into a room, I immediately sweep and try to gauge exactly what's going on and what the dynamic is. And part of that is looking for a path, like, hey, how can I get through this room without running into anybody or making it uncomfortable? It's also looking at the exits, like, hey, if something goes bad, how do I get out of this place? And it's also about power dynamics, about how people are standing and interacting, like who is trying to assert their dominance, like who is being passive, like what is the easiest way to get through this room without